No means no. I don't know where we're going into this. I bet there's some dumbass TikTok trend. Let's check it out. Y'all cannot accept rejections. I think that before we get into this, I think that nobody can accept rejections. I'll be real with you. I don't think anybody, I think that majority, regardless, men or women, I think that most people just cannot accept the rejection unless they're normal. Because like in both genders, there's always somebody crazy. But let's take a look at this shit.
Hey baby girl, do you sleep in the nude? Can you go away please? Why? I'm asking a really creepy question.
Yeah, are you naked underneath those clothes?
To answer in fear of me doing something violent because I didn't get my own way. And I'm asking you to go away because people always say, well, why didn't you say
nice.
no? Why didn't you tell him to go away? So go away.
Why didn't you shoot him?
Because you're making me uncomfortable. I'm just gonna act like I can't hear what she's saying because I don't see females as respectable people.
Damn.
And no, I'm not gay. Females serve the men. So whatever we are.
I think, by the way, listen, I am on the girlies. I'm on your side, but I do want to say one thing. Remember when we looked at the girls, the women that were getting rejected by dudes? Everyone was like, what, are you gay? You're rejecting me? Are you gay? It's always back to the gay card, man. It's always like this.
Y'all deliver. Hey, excuse me. This man will not leave me alone and what? I wasn't even doing anything. You're such an ugly bitch. Why would I even talk to you? You're an annoying little Ew! Ew! I didn't even want to.
How do you sit there with a scenario? Does this scenario actually happen? Like outside of the internet? Does this conversation actually happen to somebody? Because I feel like the only time a transaction like this will happen is in a text or online. This does not happen in real life. You don't go to a bar and see somebody randomly crashing out like this. I've never seen it happen in my life. Damn. I was gonna make a joke, but I'll hold that up.
To you anyways. I'm getting clearly upset because I was rejected and my ego.
I've seen it happen. You've seen this happen. What did they say to them? How?
Not handle being told no. I am really getting tired at the narrative that's currently being perpetuated that women these days just don't know how to be friendly anymore. Or that we should be open to entertaining men who can't seem to take no for an answer. You'd think that approaching a stranger in public with the intent of, say, developing a friendship is harmless, but that is absolutely not the situation here. If a man cannot handle his ego being shattered by hearing the word no or, I don't know, go away, that is no nice guy trying to strike up a conversation. And
if you have a girl tell you go away, you were not a nice guy to begin with. I mean, like, there's approaches where you can say hi to someone, you can have a conversation with someone that you never met before. That can be a pleasant situation and scenario. Maybe it will be a good scenario for both terms. But like, a lot of people out there are also like tired and they don't want to deal with shit and they don't feel like talking to somebody. So if they don't want to talk to you, I mean, that makes sense.
Just have a friendship with this.
Like the worst thing is when I have AirPods on. When I have AirPods on and people want to talk to me that I don't even know, like, what? I get that. Like, a lot of people probably get that as well. If you're on the bus and you're like completely distant and you're trying to just relax and you're listening to music, some random dude coming up to you, I get how that can be piss fucking annoying. This man was trying to get my attention and I kept ignoring, and then he honked his car and horned at me. No, that's weird. That's fucking weird. That's like, that's necessarily stalker behavior in a way. Can I talk to you for a second if I pull up here?
Unsuspecting woman. That is an entitled piece of shit who is so insecure about the word no.
The girls only table. Yeah, I'm asking you to leave. I'm respectfully asking you to go to another table. There are plenty of tables. Like there's that.
Nah,
one
that's
that you guys
weird.
can go to.
Nah, that's weird.
Go.
Bro, these girls are out there just eating, chilling out, vibing, and you just decide to sit down with your bear while they're asking you to leave. Now that's weird as fuck. That's weird.
Go away. Go. Begging.
Hi, Hammer.
Go. It's just like it's our table. It's just weird for you to just sit down.
Bro, these guys look drunk. Okay, I get this. Yeah, this is weird. But I think these dudes are just fucking pissed. Like they are drunk. They're gone. Like I think they are not they are not like understanding their environment right now.
It is
Which
really
is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. I'm just saying that's the case.
scary to watch two grown men
Yeah.
not listen to the words of leave, go away, you're making us
I'd just ask whoever worked there to tell them to get the fuck away. They're weirding me out. But yeah.
uncomfortable. Which in fact, I do not care what anybody says, and it may sound really antisocial or I'm just closing myself off to potential relationships and friendship. If there are two men who feel so comfortable to come and sit down at my table when I'm minding my business,
I would assume that you would probably have a relationship then because you're so direct and you're so comfortable being direct that eventually you probably will meet somebody that matches your same energy. Like I'm gonna be real in a way. Like I think that also in a way, it says that if you're direct in that manner where you're interrupting other personal space, I mean that's a big enough explanation for any guy or girl that they don't really want to have anything to do with you. You already like made it weird, like to begin with, and first impression is the biggest one. So you fucked up.
I sure as am asking them to leave and go away too. Oh, but you don't understand, Drama Queen. Not all men are like that. How am I supposed
Bro, I've had these moments plenty of times. Sadly, I bet you do. I bet y'all girls have had this many times. I'm gonna be real. I cannot count on my fingers how many times I had to tell like the girlfriends I know to like on a party or something like help them out to get the fuck away from them. I get that there are people that are persistent and annoying, and definitely even in public out spaces where people are not really drunk or maybe they're tipsy or whatever the hell. There are scenarios that happens like this all the time. Does this happen to men as well? Yeah, it happens. There are weird women out there and there are weird gay dudes out there too. But like the point B is that it does not happen in the same scale at all.
to gauge that when these men won't even leave the table after I've just asked them to?
Go to the table where there's no people right there.
They're screaming at them even. Holy.
Just go sit there. I think
Bro,
you should
he
go
is
sit
so
there.
drunk.
Look, it's crying. It has no people at its table. You guys need to go over there.
And you know what frustrates me in situations like this? You as a woman have already asked them to shoo, go away, leave. You are weird for sitting here at this table with us. But they won't leave. They won't go away. They're treating it as if it's funny and that it's just flirting, when in reality, they're not listening to what is being said to them at all. Because how could these women tell them to go away? They're such a prize and they don't even realize it. I mean, James, if we wear them down enough, they're gonna say yes and they're gonna come home with us. Am I right, James? Like, you disgusting, cretinous gremlin beings, I should spit on you. But I probably wouldn't, because there'd be an ounce of pleasure from that, and I wouldn't want y'all to have that.
Oh, hell no.
whatsoever.
Get the fuck.
So
Nah.
instead of being blunt and mean and getting straight to the point, this woman here is resorting to laughing and trying to make jokes out of anxiety and nervousness because they're not leaving. They're not.
You don't have to get to that point. And by the way, starting laughing at them is probably the most humiliating thing they can ever experience at that point. Honestly, it's weird. Like if you're getting to the point where you're screaming at them to get the fuck away from you, I mean, that's too much. Like you already reached a barrier where you could have just gone and asked the staff that worked there to get them the way. Like that's all you gotta do, honestly. And it's annoying and it's tiresome and you should not even deal with these scenarios. But unfortunately, there are unpleasant people out there that don't even understand social boundaries at all. They are socially awkward. They don't even know how. People are unable to understand most social encounters nowadays. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know shit. So you will have these scenarios. Truce, ask staff. Yeah, just ask staff. You don't have to get frustrated. This does not have to ruin your day. It is annoying. It is. But take resources around. You don't have to make everything an act of your own. Ask the people working there, because they want you to sit there and you eat your stuff and come back and chill out and vibe and understand that you can vibe here. So either you ask staff or you call the cops. Like, it's not really hard in that, depending on the situation, but most of the time just ask staff.
Not going away. And of course, some idiots in the comments are like, well, you completely ruined it whenever you started laughing. Like, obviously, they're not going to leave after that. They think that you're thinking this is all funny. Why is it always...
If you think that a girl is laughing at you after telling you to leave, that is funny or it's a good time, now you dumb as fuck, man.
Women should do this to combat men instead of men should do this so that we don't have to have these conversations. When I get extremely nervous and anxious, I just start laughing. I don't know why I do that, and I hate whenever I do that, and I'm sure so many of you at home watching this laugh in really nervous, anxiety-inducing situations as well. Our bodies are kind of just like, you know, how do we respond to these situations? It's really not black or white like people are making it out to be. And I also kept seeing so many comments of people saying, well, if you didn't treat it like a joke, these men would have gone away. It's almost as if they told them to go away and leave, and they didn't listen to that.
That's good. We were both in relationships, and I'd love if you'd leave. Go away, please. Go. Do you want me to spill your Guinness on you? Because I will. Go away. I'm asking you to leave. Go.
Man.
Go. I guess we'll go then.
Man.
We'll go. Leave.
Did I just hear this dude say, no, stop. These women are trying to leave the table now because y'all aren't leaving, but now y'all trying to stop her. To me, that sounds like a threat. And the fact these men have
Are the men in the video drunk?
Concept of leaving.
They 100% are. You look at them, like you look at the other guy. Where is he? Where's the... They are 100% drunk. I don't know, like they are not there. They are drunk. They are drunk on half a beer. These guys are gone, man. They're not. They are not. For sure.
It's really scary.
Man, oh man.
Of leaving women alone when they are clearly telling you to is really scary. The dude said that his friend liked one of the girls. Meh. These girls are telling you no. They're also telling you to go away. I really don't care what this gets me into, but this is big rape energy. Genuinely.
Nah, that's a big too far step, and that's where we start having an honest conversation and make it dishonest. Like, people put labels and situations way too far beyond. Like, we're going from a 2, we're going from a 10 to 100 right now. Like, that is too much to ask, and that's where we completely take all the arguments in the bin. We can't have an honest conversation. You should not have said that.
BRE.
I'm asking you to leave. Go. Get away.
They have not touched them. They have not done anything. They're a meter away. They just sat on their table and are being pieces of shits. Like, taking that step is way too far.
Witch!
Is Moses harassment? Yeah.
Go!
The fact these men are still sitting there is absolutely wild to me. They're laughing. They're smiling.
What is even wilder is that these girls are sitting there as well. Like, I'd fucking move away or talk to staff. Like, I don't understand. Like, they're freaking out. And I get it. It's annoying. It's fucking annoying. But I feel like most of these scenarios could have been, you could have done this in a very different manner. And I'm not going to criticize them because they're not the one that engaged this.
And people will be like, oh, drama queen.
Where's the security? Where's the workers? Well, where's the workers? If you work her and you see this girl fucking shouting at them, random dudes, like, would you not go and be like, is everything okay?
Men derogatory, are not taking no for an answer and are continuing to persist with these girls
Universe.
even after being screamed at. What
Thank
will
Universe
it
for 6
take?
million years. I
Because
appreciate 9 years.
so
Appreciate
many
it. Thank
people
you.
love to say, well, be mean, say no, tell them to go away, and then it actually happens.
Wait 6 months in advance? Thank you, Universe. Thank you for 6 month tier 1 sub in advance. I appreciate that. WW, thank you so much, Universe. That's a big sub. Thank you.
And then it's, oh, but what if the
Hello.
men were
How
attractive?
you doing,
Who
Universe?
gives a like, I hate to break it to, you know, a lot of these kinds of men, but we just don't think like y'all. You know, if a woman...
She would get up. If they got up, they would follow. Yeah, but I'm saying go to staff. Like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'd step away to a different table, but like, I'd first go to staff and tell them like, hey, we're gonna move table, but these men are like, they're like following us and are really weird. Could you keep an eye on them if they sit next to us again and take them away?
Came up to bother you, you would absolutely love that. I'm sorry, but we don't,
Hi,
because
Broly.
we know the intentions there. Just stand up and leave. Well, they tried and they were stopped. Just told them to go away. Well, I don't know if we watched the same TikTok, mate, but after the 47th time, they still sat there. They were still sat put. Always being mean to dudes like this and embarrassing the crap out of them.
I agree. You can be mean and embarrass them if they're being weird as fuck. But if somebody goes and directly just asks you out or something like that, like tries to talk to you, I mean, you don't have to be mean from the get-go. Gently say no. That's it. Like, there are people, like, taking a step to just saying hi is a big thing. Like, it's a lot, definitely in our modern society. I don't think people should feel bad, by the way. You should take this as a compliment. I'm talking about like a genuine guy just coming up to you and trying to introduce himself to you. If somebody does that, take that as a compliment that you look so fabulous and great and you're so you're such approachable from somebody that just wanted to say hi to you. Like, that's an amazing thing to know. But whenever it goes to scale where they're being weird or creepy or persistent, that's where you could take this step itself. And then that's when it's not being a compliment anymore. Now you're just dealing with a weirdo.
In public.
Now I'm gonna be mean. I fed up of saying no, not getting numbered kindly after 100 times. No, I get how this can also be like a build-up. I get it. But I get how, like, if you have the situation happen to you repeatedly every day, at some point you are so exhausted by it that it becomes like a natural instinct where you just say no or are mean. I can understand that. But if this doesn't happen to you all the time, if some guy approaches you just to say hi, I don't think you should not like take that as every single scenario to be like a malicious intent. You should think about that being a compliment, that they find you, somebody out there find it so well, like, attractive that they want to say hi to you, or approachable that they want to say hi to you. Again, it's scenario and like everything matters about the scenario and the intent behind it as well and how things are going. But like if a normal dude just says hi because they saw you and they wanted to just say hi to you, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Don't smile. Don't do anything that can be interpreted as a joke. Don't laugh.
Do you want to say hi real quick? Hope you're doing good.
Be mean and be loud. Please stop acting like the women in this TikTok weren't doing just that. And they still weren't going anywhere anytime soon. No matter what you say or what you do to men like this, they refuse to take us seriously because they don't see us as human beings. We're just supposed to sit there.
I'm being told I'm pretty, but I'm not. I'm gonna say this to everybody because the biggest criticizer in your life is gonna be you. And in some ways, it's good about when it comes to getting better with yourself, like being more talented, or in some sort of manner, or working on something. But like when it comes to beauty standards, the only one that's going to notice flaws and be the most oppressor of all of them are going to be yourself. I bet you're pretty as hell and everybody's pretty as hell. But like even the prettiest individual will sit there and look at look into themselves in the mirror and sit there and judge themselves. Everyone is pretty, yeah.
Been tired enough of it, tired of saying no, exhausted from telling them to leave, and just let them.
And also, if you're telling me, by the way, just saying it right now, if you're telling me that you have over 100 people, or let's say you have had a lot of scenarios where individuals are coming up to you and asking you out or asking for your number. I mean, if somebody approaches you in that manner, that means you've been so attractive for somebody out there that they wanted to approach you. They muster the confidence to approach you. Maybe some of them have been weird, but I bet not every scenario has been weird.
They
Hopefully
want
not.
to do to
Hope
us
not.
because, you know, we tried.
I'm an 11 out of 10.
Really
Yeah, you're hot as hell,
did,
Rattles.
and nothing helped. That is their entire thought process. A lot of the time, men like this are successful in their really up advances, and I don't really care what anyone says. Like, of course we'll never actually know the true intentions of both of these men in this video, but if I'm being told no, go away, for me, I don't even need to be told. You know, I will get that vibe. But even if it's said, I'm going, I'm bouncing, that's embarrassing. That person doesn't want to be around you. It is tiresome to constantly be told to try every trick in the book, you know, to make men leave us alone. Only for those tricks to not work and then be told that we didn't try this trick and we didn't try that trick. How about we tell these men they shouldn't do this shit, period? Why is it always on us? Like, what were we wearing? What
I will be real with you on many regards. Again, I want to say this right now. Like, there's a big weirdness now when it comes to dudes. There's like a wave of it at the moment where I can understand why some people can feel a frustration on a big magnitude like this right now. Because like at the moment, the way there's like a real like gender battle online at the moment, which is so exhausting. That's why I'm a tomboy. Do you feel like being a tomboy is less like appealing to dudes? I think she's going to crash out in a sec. Yeah, she's already crashed out like 2 minutes ago. How you doing, Holly? Hope you're doing good. I think that being a tomboy is definitely less appealing to dudes because you're less revealing because you have baggier clothes or you're wearing male clothes. There's definitely like a different kind of approach of a feeling for somebody whenever they see somebody have more revealing clothes, skinnier stuff or whatever. But at the same time, most of this doesn't even matter. Like if you're attractive, if you look attractive, it doesn't really matter what you're wearing most of the time. I mean, yeah, what you're wearing can enhance the chances of people coming up to you, but creeps will be creeps anyways. Yo, Abe, how you doing?
Doing? How are we acting? No. How about y'all just off?
So let's test it out.
I'm so over not being able to do anything as a girl alone without men coming up to you and then not leaving you alone, like I just trying to film my silly little taste test. Is this actually how it is every single day?
Hello. I'm sorry, I can't.
Women do this shit too. I just had an ass pinched at work many times. Older women are insane. It happens to men as well. Women does this too. This is not a situation where it only happens to women. But this amount of scale that comes in, it's way bigger for the most average girl compared to most average dude. Most average guy will never be hit on. It's only the guys that have that are like 7 to 10 that will have repeated hit-ons. That would be randomly touched. Like this happens a lot. Like I don't know. Like I think that last 5 to 10 like clubs I went to, probably like I don't know how many weird girls have like try to pinch my ass or touch me. Like this happens to everybody. But when it comes to me sitting down or any guy sitting down just eating their fucking wrap, this doesn't happen. Random girls don't just it doesn't happen often that girls just randomly comes up to you and say hi. I don't think this happens to most guys. Like you gotta, there's probably, if you're like a 10 out of 10, maybe somebody will step up and say hi to you. But in the matter of what is happening here, no, this is not a reoccurring situation. I've never been hit on. I don't go out. Well, that's a good way to never be. You don't have to deal with any of this shit if you stay at home.
Okay. No. I'm sorry.
Talks to dirtiness of speechless. It's so weird. It's so weird.
A lot of people in the comments of this TikTok were not using any of the brain cells that they were spawned here on Earth with. Don't say sorry. It puts you in a vulnerable position.
A guy randomly grabbed my hand and told me to give my number. He got hit because I did it on the reflex. Good.
Don't say you can't, because
He already
he'll
touched
try and
you.
change that.
What the fuck?
It's sort of hard to know exactly the right thing to do in situations like this, in which she already said, I'm sorry, I can't. Of course, she should never have to apologize for declining a man's advances, you know, let alone a man that she has no
So I'm just tired of being a woman.
What the
I think, listen, I think women have to deal with a lot of shit. But there's a lot of beauties before being a woman. Like, you should look at there's a lot of great things. There's way many great things. And the thing is that the problem is that at the moment, I think that the ideas of society right now, this sounds so stupid, like the way I'm phrasing this. But point B is that I think that there's a lot of problems we are putting out there that are like kind of expanding a lot and becoming way worse than it is. Because we see so much of it online. We're talking about it so much of it online. So the ideas become way worse. Now, I don't know how your life is or how things are for the average Joe, but like, I wonder if like the way this video is phrased, that is so repeated. For some reason, the good in me will assume that it does not happen literally every day. It happens sometimes, it's annoying, but it doesn't happen every day. We need the socialization classes for real. Holy shit.
He's gonna do to her because he's a stranger. He's a strange man in public. But in some cases, a man can get so offended and go off his nut over being
That
told
pizza
no.
looks good.
And
That's
you know,
so
even
weird.
worse, it looks to be that this girl was pretty much all by herself, which makes thinking about what you do in situations like this all the more tricky, because
That's why you
you're
need
by
a gun.
yourself. You know, at least she was in a public area. Looks like
Girl, pro tip, learn to burp on command. It will be a deal breaker most of the time. Yeah, do things that men would do. Be like, just burp, do something nasty, laugh at like that's actually the best thing. You're completely right on that. Just start burping. They'll probably dip the fuck off.
Side of a food establishment, so if anything did go awry, she could have just screamed her titties off. But it's like, why should she have to do any of that? She's just trying to enjoy her meal. Go away. This isn't the time nor environment, you weirdo. But if he were attractive, ... But if he were attractive, what? Is the implication here that a man who just so
I know guys who are into that shit. Milage may vary. Oh my god. You just have to gamble and hope that doesn't happen.
To be attractive approaches this girl, she actually would have been so super keen to entertain the conversation with him, but because he's an ugly, weird looking fat man, like, she thinks he's a creep, which is just so funny to me because
Let's be real, if somebody's super attractive, they can do weirder shit. Attractiveness is an illusion. Let's not think to ourselves that that's not the case, but even an attractive guy being super creepy is still gonna give the ick. But they could, with most scenarios, if you're super attractive, you can get behind most things. It's just a fact.
men really think we think.
Beauty is the eye of the beholder. Of course it is. But like, I'm talking about how it's viewed from somebody that is looking at it.
Like them. I have had plenty of experiences where men have approached me out in public. It doesn't matter really what I was doing, but
being super attractive isn't it? Not everybody thinks that way, but sure, Anna.
some of them, yeah, sure have been attractive, if you will, but I have still declined his advances because what are his intentions?
Bro, you have dudes out there murdering people. Like running people over and shit, like doing crazy shit. And they're sentenced to death. And you have a bunch of people coming up like, oh my God, he's so hot. Oh, I love him. I'll free him. The man was with me all night. He didn't do it. Like, come on. If you have people actually committing like super bad crimes toward their exes and other like to other people, I mean, at some point, you gotta realize that, yeah, the only reason these girls are saying this, and even dudes are saying this, is because they were attractive.
Is going around in my mind. I am sitting here by myself alone, and I already am trying to look unapproachable.
Love her
Why
style. I
is
love this
he
too.
approaching me? And it
I wish more people went more goth
in
style.
my experience, turns out to be a bad situation. Regardless if he is hot or not. I'm never gonna blame a woman for being on her.
The worst feeling as a woman is politely rejecting a man and immediately being called stuck-up bitch. The threat of violence is always there. It doesn't matter how kind we are. Yeah, but you should still just be kind. Like, because it's not every guy that's like that. And in the end of the day, if they want to be a stuck-up bitch themselves, like, that's on them. And that just sucks. You just dealt with a fucking moron.
Regard and being, quote, too nice towards a man who is making her feel uncomfortable. Maybe should you be less nice in situations like these so that you don't present this sense of vulnerability where you might go along with whatever this dude wants if you're so scared of him? Sure, but I mean, who are we to speak for multiple women whose experiences we don't know of to cause her to act in a situation like this? It's the fact it's gotten to a point
Me, when I
where
reject a random dude who'd approach me in public and he doesn't kill me.
now celebrating
Jeez.
the relief of not getting killed
Jeez.
because we rejected a man's advances.
Eh, c'est quand je frisé, toi et moi on sait. Toi et moi on sait. Tu danses bien. Appelle-moi sur le téléchat, on se rappelle. Vas-y, appuie sur 0.
What the fuck?
Now, I have no idea what these dudes are saying, and quite honestly, it doesn't really matter because they have taken rejection so bad. They have followed these girls to their hotel room, are banging and screaming at
Nah, they were just making sure they got home safe. That's what these guys did. They were just making sure. This is so weird, bro. How do you take this step? How do you do this? Like, honestly, like, these guys are psycho. They're psycho. There's nothing more in that. A guy called me a bitch once. I told him, thank you. If you want to call me something, use the other word next time. Yeah, be more creative.
the door over what? Over being told no. Why do men act like
They were delivering
toddlers who are
baguettes. Yeah, they just wanted to give them muffins. Fresh bakeries.
past McDonald's, and mummy has said, no, little Jamesy boy, you actually can't have McDonald's because we're making dinner in a couple of hours. Oh my god, I can't believe I can't have McDonald's right now, mum.
This reminds me of Hassan. Like, I feel like I'm listening to Hassan talk about Asmongold again.
You're a bitch. And people will still sit there and be like, we'll just say no. No means no. They'll get it. Well,
All I wanted was to go on a nice peaceful walk today, but yet again, here I am to complain about people not even being humans anymore. What are we doing? I'm walking towards this girl on
Put
the
on a
sidewalk,
shirt, goddammit.
and God forbid we make eye contact or have any sort of human interaction on a how's it going kind of level. She's got the AirPods in, she's got the sunglasses on, she has her phone in landscape, folks. We have stooped to the level of having our phone in landscape like this? No. Please tell me you're not watching a movie just to avoid having some sort of human interaction. Guys, this needs to
Why
stop.
do you give a shit about that? If somebody doesn't want human interaction, why do you give a shit? Only interacts with it. What's wrong? What is happening? He's basically explaining all the type of steps they've taken to seem less approachable. Let her
Look
be,
around,
yeah.
get a little bit uncomfortable, and I don't know, say hi to a human that's 4 feet away from you.
I really had to include this TikTok in today's video because I could not believe the privilege oozing out of this idiot, dude. How privileged do you gotta be to think this random girl who you have walked past
Also, by the way, if she's working out, if anybody's working out, leave them the fuck alone. They're in their own mind space. Don't talk to them. Leave them it doesn't matter who the hell they are. If they're working out, leave them alone. Unless you're asking if you're at a gym and you're asking how many reps you have, never talk to somebody. Or if they're using this specific thing, never talk to somebody. Leave them alone.
Is not wanting to talk to you because she's antisocial. And there's something wrong with this generation because they're always on the phones. Like, that is a separate conversation for another time.
If he's just said hi and walked away, is there a harm? No. No, I don't think so. Is there a harm? No, there's no harm in saying hi and walking away. Like, I say hi to everybody I go by nearly. That's just, I don't know, nice human courtesy? No.
But I hate to tell you this, buddy. You are the problem. Maybe you're not as bad as the guys that we've spoken about.
The same as, by the way, having like a slight compliment to somebody and then move away. Like, that's nothing wrong with that. Maybe that will bring up a smile to somebody. Maybe that won't mean anything. But just being kind doesn't matter either. You just don't be in their shit, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with just being nice to somebody and then moving on.
Video, but to feel so entitled to a conversation with this random girl, you hop onto TikTok,
yeah, why would they linger?
Your toys out the pram, tells me you can't handle hearing no either.
Damn.
Even if it's not explicitly said. By your account, she has her AirPods in and she's watching a movie out on her nice day, out on her nice walk.
Right.
Why should she have to give you the time of day?
True.
In specifics. I hate to say it, but males who think they are owed a conversation give off a really off-putting vibe. It's not like it's totally...
Sadly, my flag is you're beautiful and I'd like to get to know you and my hypervigilance is on. No. If they say, hi, you look great, and then they said, that's it. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Hey, that jewelry looks nice. Hope you have a great day. And then move on. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And whenever you're I'd like to get to know you in a random scenario where you're outside. Like, I mean, I can understand unless you find some reason you want to get to know them. I can understand where you're being like a little bit defensive.
Abnormal for a woman to see that a man is approaching her and, you know, be on her guard because she doesn't know his intentions. Because, you know, it may not be all men, but it is all women.
I think she's popping off a little bit hard.
Maybe sometimes people genuinely do not have any negative intentions when it comes to approaching a stranger in public to try and strike up conversation because they are a genuine person. They see somebody and they're like, wow, that looks like a person who could make a great friend. But how come all of the complaints are, this woman isn't giving me the time of day? I don't
think I would ever go by someone for the first time and think to myself, oh my God, this could be a great friend. Oh my God, I'd like to ask them out. If I saw someone like 20 times or 10 times or something, and for some reason I want to engage in that kind of manner to create a conversation, I can understand that. But at first approach, no, this is just a little bit much. That's a little bit much. Just I never understood that, really.
See y'all doing this to men.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of baggage from this. That's why.
Men pleasantries, but men don't expect the same from other men.
No, this did not begin from a high. I get what you're saying, Hanoli. Saying hi, have a great day. Complimenting them and telling them to have a wonderful day and then move on. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not even what's going on in this conversation at all. The reason why she's popping off now is because a dude started complaining about how women out there are like wearing like sunglasses, AirPods, looking at their phone on a widescreen just to avoid being talked to or engage with anybody around them. That's why she's popping off right now. But the reality is that this girl probably just fucking is out in the sun, having a walk and watching a series on her phone while doing her cardio. I watch shit while I do my cardio.
It just boggles my mind because there it is. The intentions aren't to develop a friendship. If I'm to talk to a stranger in public, whether it be man, woman, or anyone in between, it's usually because they're wearing a band shirt and I'm like, I know that band. Name 5. No, I'm just kidding. But like, hey, I know that band. That's really, really awesome. I'm not trying to go out of my way to make somebody feel uncomfortable. And if they feel uncomfortable by me saying, hey, like, I love that band, that's completely fine. Like, I just don't care that much because at the end of the day, the shit isn't about me. It's just crazy to me that this dude is talking about how people need to get a little uncomfortable. Bro, you're a little uncomfortable right now and it seems like you clearly cannot handle it either. I too wish that the world was sunshine and rainbows, where a man approaches a woman, hears the words no, and goes on about his day because it's not that big of a deal.
This is how I deal with it. I don't approach anybody. And I go and do my shit and I go home. That's what I do. I don't want to talk to anybody. Get them away from me. I gotta talk to people like on social gatherings or whatever, at work and whatever the fuck. And then the gym. I'm good otherwise. I'm good. I'll say hi when I go by people. I don't want to approach anybody.
Didn't follow women home and threaten their safety all because their tiny little egos were shattered by hearing
It's about
the
extrovert
word
and introverted,
no.
yeah.
Until y'all start telling your boys, hey, this is not acceptable behavior, bro. Like, this makes you creepy. And it isn't that.
We do, by the way. I mean, not everybody does, but like, I'll be real with you, yeah. There are a lot of dudes that checks up their homies. Like, if I have a homie being weird, they do say, I say it. Like, everybody says it. We do. It happens. But you know those really weird ones that you're probably talking about now? They don't have homies most of the time. Or they have a few homies that are just as weird as them.
Big of a deal when a woman says no, in the sense of it shouldn't destroy your ego so bad that you get violent. Until the broad perspective is that men respect women regardless of being told no, of being told to go away. Women do not owe you eye contact, pleasantries, or a conversation.
What?
Until you make them feel comfortable. That's that. So with all of that being said, that's about where I'm going to leave this entire topic, because I really did not know that this was a whole genre of content on TikTok, in the sense that there are so many situations like these that take place every other day. And even when a man's identity is plastered over social media, it's almost like he doesn't care. And I'm not sure why. If you or anybody that you know has had similar experiences to what we spoke about in today's video, let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, as well as any experiences that you may have. If you are uncomfortable by sharing that publicly, let me know through my email, dramaqueensubmissions@gmail.com. I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for coming to Yappersville today, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and most of all, love your fucking selves.
True. Definitely the last one. Damn. Nah, I'm gonna be real. I think that in the end of the day, there's just weirdos out there, bro. There are weirdos everywhere. And honestly, that's a big problem. That you can't like put on. You can't put everybody on the same label. But there are weirdos, and it's annoying. The only way to deal with it is honestly that you can't delete them. That doesn't work like that. The only way to really handle it is to talk to people around you, use law enforcement, use staff, maybe learn some kind of the self-defense, or get a gun. Like dude, I'm gonna be real. If I was a if I was a 5'2" girl, skinny girl, I'd get a gun. I'd get a Glock. I'm gonna be real. I don't give a shit where I live. I get a fucking gun. I'm not gonna learn. Even if I'm 5'2" skinny and I'm learning like self-defense, I can't beat a 6 feet guy filled with muscles. But a gun can. So, you know, my grandma has a gun. Grandma. Yeah, just that's it. Or like a taser or like pepper spray. But like those scenarios is the worst case scenario. But it's better to have something to defend you with. Like, that's the point. But in the end of the day, these weirdos are not going to do anything. You're not going to have creepy scenarios all the time, but you got to take care of yourself. And if somebody's annoying you, brush it off. Try to turn it into something positive in your mind instead of being like, make it ruin your day. A random guy should not ruin your day. Honestly, they don't deserve to let you ruin your day at all. They don't deserve it. They have not done enough to be there for you, to have that ability. You should not even think about them after the moment. You should just move on, get rid of them, and just try to take it as a compliment if you can. If not, then just, you know, try to forget about them. It's weird. But guns are illegal where I'm then you got to figure something else out. There are ways. There's definitely ways to have self-defense stuff. But at the end of the day, you're not going to need self-defense in most scenarios. It's just, I'm just saying, I'm just saying I would try to get something at least if I didn't do self-defense. Most girls when I went to primary school, like most girls went through self-defense courses. Everybody went through like taekwondo and other kind of things. I don't know why they don't do that anymore. Do they still do that? Like, I feel like I think most people should learn self-defense regardless. But anyways, yeah, this is weird. I don't condone it. And just know that not every guy is weird. Like, I'm a guy. I know, but maybe you might think that I'm actually a really hot goth girl behind this VTuber model. But I'm a guy. And I don't think I'm creepy. And there are guys out there that probably aren't creepy either. And they understand a social scenario that isn't weird as fuck. But that doesn't mean that there are some out there that are bad apples. There are bad apples everywhere. And you should not let those bad apples ruin your day. Figure out a way to solve it. And hopefully, I don't know, people start checking up people more on and make sure that this is weird and call them out whenever seen online. Gas, no way. You aren't a hot goth girl. I know. As much as I wish I was, but no, I am not. I'm in fact a man. That sucks. I know. Get a spider, let the rest in your bag. I'm gonna be real. If you have a big weird tarantella or you burp, I think you're gonna get like 95% of men away, most likely. Not there, nothing with them. I carry a switchblade, even though it's illegal. You gotta have something. Like, it's illegal, by the way, to be to touch you anyway, so you might as well have something illegal to defend yourself with. I mean, that's such a scam for women, in my opinion. I agree people should learn martial art, but realistically, girls need guns for real self-defense. Of course, but let's be real. Not every listen. Less than 1%, around maybe 1% of men out there are built. Like, I think that, or actually less than like 4% of men have muscles. At the moment, dudes are fucking weak. They're weak. They don't work out. They don't do any physical labor. They do like office jobs. They eat dog shit. Most of them are not strong. So my point B is that even if you are a skinny girl, if you do martial art, you will build some form of muscle and you know ways to defend yourself. So in most scenarios, you could just beat someone the fuck up. Like, I don't know. I think that's the case. So it's also better to know self-defense regardless than anything. But yeah, a gun would beat anything. Having a self-defense weapon would beat anything. That's all that matters. Don't let Addie deceive you. She's actually an Asian girl who shops at Hot Topic. Yeah, I'm actually, in fact, very, very attractive Asian woman. Goth girl, for sure. 100%. Yep. Outrun them? Nah. Honestly, like, this is the worst scenarios, and we're talking about the worst scenarios, but you gotta take care of yourself. And regardless if these things don't happen often or these things never happen, it's always a good idea to have a backup plan and have some way of defending yourself. And regardless if you're a guy or a girl, like, everybody should have a way to defend themselves in some way. They should know how to fight, or they should know how to have a weapon. It's just a matter of safe. It's like being safe. That's all. Most people don't like rats or mouse. Get a rat. I love rats and mouses. They're adorable. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like spiders that much though. I've never gotten that. Anyway, we're just getting sidetracked. Yeah, W video. Holy.